Good. Ah, they're all coming in. Admit all. Oh, how many we got? Well, most of us are here. That's good. I think that's it.
Hi again.
Great. Hi again. Okay, so one of the things which I may repeat again, somebody, and I don't remember who it was, asked me to get together where people are located. So the Excel sheet that I've been sharing around has your email address, your name, and a few people I knew early on where they lived. So I'm going to send it out again. And if you could just send me an email, simple thing as to where you live now. If you're not on that list, I'll add it so people can do that.
So Steve,
Yeah.
how do we remember if we're on the, I mean, if, like, do you have my stuff or do you need my
You're
stuff?
going to see the Excel sheet.
Everybody is back, Jen. So you're on speaker, so I'll let you hear.
Yep. Okay.
Steve, did you get my email? Jan is still having trouble. I'm on the phone.
I think I sent her another note. Let's see.
It was on.
We send him the report too.
Let's see. I want to admit. Yeah, oh, Jan, I sent Jan the link. Who's?
Just send the HTTP.
He said just send the HTTP.
That's what I did.
Opened it up.
Yeah, it should be at the K&K.
Okay.
You have to type it in. It's not a link on my
He can copy it.
computer.
He can
Yeah,
copy
I
the
did.
URL.
Steve, when I tried to get back in, it was the wrong passcode because you had changed the capital T to a lowercase.
Oh, God. Yeah, the only reason I use a passcode is because we don't need strange people coming in. I had that happen once. Somebody showed up.
Yeah, but Jan may be putting in the Trenton with the capital T.
Yeah. Yeah, ask him.
I never have to put in a passcode.
He said he never has to put in a passcode.
Okay. What are you
I
getting?
have him on speaker here so he can hear what's
Yeah,
going on.
good. Well, we like to see him too.
Nancy, you there?
Yeah, Patty told me that you guys are going to get together.
We got together.
Oh, you did?
It was
Oh, good.
amazing. She mentioned that Susan Weston Gotzigan
Right.
lives in Naples, Florida.
Oh,
Yeah, I told you. You're right. Yeah.
Right. Well, we met them last weekend,
Yeah.
actually on Christmas Eve. They were
Oh.
over here, and it turns out when I heard the name Gotzigan, it took me a day to realize we went to medical school together.
Oh,
So her
with Danny.
husband I knew very well for
Okay.
3 years at Tufts Medical School.
Wow.
It was actually fantastic. We spent
Small
4
world.
hours together. So thank you very much.
all right, try this again.
My pleasure.
Bruce, are you in Florida? Bruce,
We're in Naples, Florida.
are
As
you
we-
full-time or are you snowbirds?
We are Florida residents. We're here about 6-7 months a year. And then we live the rest of the time in my old medical office, which we converted to a ranch house in the center of Princeton.
Because
So-
I'm on the West Coast also. I'm in Sun City Center between Tampa and Sarasota.
Okay, we came through there actually about a week ago. We picked up our Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Here we go.
Who's sleeping right next to me over here.
Ah,
We just
okay.
came
Well,
through there.
you must have been on 75. You could have waved to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. No.
Did you get the pictures I sent you, Steve?
Yes, but I saved them, but I didn't open them yet. Did you give me names on that?
I didn't see an email from you on that.
Pardon? No, I said I got your email, but
Right.
I downloaded them, but I didn't look at them yet.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes, I have them. Now,
Okay.
I saw
They were
you.
like 7th and 8th grade, I think.
Yeah.
Looked
Mr.
a little bit more like,
What is it? Barsh or Bash or somebody? All right. Here comes Linda.
I'm back.
Okay. No, the other Linda. We have two Lindas together.
Has anybody looked at this lately?
Well, there
oh,
he
mine
is.
is falling apart. I have to get it
Oh, yeah.
rebound.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would say I don't recognize anybody. You must have all gotten old while I stayed young. I don't understand.
Mine is really falling apart. I've looked at it many times.
The best thing was that Jan came up with the list of our.
5 times already.
You've
I
had
also-
it found, Naomi?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I also have this. I also have the Spectator. Well, whichever
Wow.
way. The Spectator and I can't tell you how many times Nancy Albert's name is mentioned in this Spectator.
Wow.
She's all over it.
Well, Marty, I did.
And
before
Tom
you joined-
Lombardo,
Tom
you
Lombardo.
are the most all-around guy here, man.
Yes, definitely.
Well,
He was our guy.
I'm not complaining.
It was interesting that I posted on the Facebook page, which I thought I shared around, the flare. Spectator was Trenton High, right? Wasn't the Spectator
Yes.
Trenton High?
Yeah, that's Trenton High.
Yeah, well, the flare was Junior 3.
Oh,
And we got Pat Schrager wrote stuff and Donnie
Oh.
Friedman.
yeah.
I gave Donnie a scan of his articles recently. But Jan seems to have some amazing stuff too. He's the one that came up with the commencement thing. So we now know how many people were in our class. And we're still pretty good. Out of 100 and I think 40 or so, we've found 55. And we know where at least another 10 are that are dead.
That's the first word, Naomi.
I have something here. It's
Oh,
not going to interest a lot of people, but I went to Cadwalder School, elementary school. Barbara Bistrong, this one's for
She's
you.
coming in now. Barbara's coming
Oh.
in right now.
This is our graduation from elementary school, our book. And I have an autograph from Barbara in here. I don't think
Here,
anybody else
Barbara.
went to Cadwalder.
Barbara, listen, repeat that again, Naomi.
Wait a minute, isn't that on papyrus? I thought that should be on papyrus by now.
Yeah, well, you know what? Cleopatra loaned me the original.
Oh,
Is she
Barbara
in?
Bistrong, Naomi was talking about you before you came in.
Yeah,
Oh, she's always talking.
Oh, look at her
Listen to
picture, the
me.
picture.
This is important. Listen to me. I said, this is for you because nobody else on this call, you and I went to Cadwalder, right? This is our graduation book from Cadwalder. I have your autograph in here from you. And Barbara and I have been friends since we have been 5 years old. And we stayed in contact all these years. So I
Wow.
show her this.
That's amazing.
Howie Moshevitz, where are you now? I'd like to
Where
hear
am
from
I?
you.
I'm
Yeah,
in my office in the basement.
yes, I know. What's the location of your
Uh,
basement?
I live on a 10-acre farm 5 miles north of Boulder, Colorado.
Okay, so you're
Right.
still in Colorado.
Yes,
You
I've been
remember
here.
you remember when Ronnie Hay and I popped in on you?
Yes, I do. Yes, when I lived in town until 10 years ago. Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh. I think Ronnie's still in Washington.
Last time I heard she was, but that's been
Yeah.
quite a few years ago now.
I used to communicate with Shuggy Siegel, but we fell out of communication.
Oh,
Shogi's in California. My sister Patty stays in touch with her a lot. We've
Yes,
seen
she
her.
lives basically in LA. Yeah.
It's Santa Monica, yeah.
Yes.
She used
Yeah.
to be pretty active on Facebook, but I haven't seen much from her in recent times.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't posted much in quite some time, actually.
gosh, names. Interesting.
So did you get
Nancy
everybody?
Albert, you look like you've always looked. You
Yeah.
are the one person here I would recognize. If I ran it into you, I would say, hi, Nancy. I can't get over it. Anybody else, I don't think I would.
Well, you look very well yourself, Linda. You
Linda?
look,
Yeah,
I
Well, you're
recognize
very
you.
kind, but would you recognize
Oh, yes, definitely,
You-
definitely.
Linda.
me? Really? 'Cause
Yeah, your
I look at
smile.
myself and I think, who is this woman?
We all do
Nancy,
that. We all do
I
that.
just can't. We're over that. I'm still looking in the mirror. Oh, who is it? But you just have not changed. Amazing. Am I the only one that thinks that?
No,
No,
no.
no,
I
Nancy,
agree.
oh, no.
I agree.
Yeah. No,
Nancy,
That's
did you
great.
tell everybody how we reconnected?
No, I didn't tell the story. You can tell it, or I will,
I'll
whatever.
tell it. So it turns out
Yeah.
that my mother-in-law used to live in Florida on the PGA golf course area in a 3 stages place. In any event, after, I forget which reunion it was, they sent out the this yearbook where everybody was. This is the last high school Trent High yearbook, Trent High
Yeah.
reunion thing. And I noticed that Nancy is in, of all places, is in that area. So I just said, what the hell? So I sent her did I call you or send you an email? I don't remember.
I think
Anyway,
you emailed me, yeah.
I think I emailed her. In any event, I emailed her, and the next time we went to Florida, Roberta and I met up with Nancy and George, and we went out. We went to your country club, right?
Right.
For dinner, and subsequently, when we went back there, which was usually once to twice a year, we would try to get together and go out to dinner. So, what's that, Steve?
That's the 50th year reunion with.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where I got it. Anyway,
Anyway,
it
it
was
in the back. Yep.
yeah.
Nice reunion. And I
Yeah.
got to meet Roberta for the first time, and you got to meet George for the first time.
Right.
And he's roaming around here.
He's roaming around in the back. I
Yeah,
see.
he's roaming around.
Steve, we never heard from Linda Rossinella since she's a new person.
Yeah. No, is she on now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I just let her in. Where are you? Oh, there you are, Linda. Yeah.
Hi, how is everyone? And it's been a long time. I don't know where these, 50 some years have gone.
61.
50 some years, yeah.
61. 59 was our year.
I went to Georgetown for undergraduate and graduate, and then I stayed in Washington, worked for both Department of Commerce and then the Executive Office of the President as an international trade negotiator. I met my husband, Bob. We married. We have two boys, Thomas and Jonathan, both of which are an investment advisors in the area. We live in Rockville, so I've stayed in this area ever since college. And then I'm near Linda Russell. We are only about a mile and a half away from one another. And I still see Nancy Rosenthal quite a bit because we're still friends. Bob and I have traveled pretty much all over the world, which we just enjoy doing. But things have slowed down because he was in his mid-80s. And so we're just staying in the States and doing things around here. We enjoy playing bridge. And I have 8 grandchildren, 2 boys, but 8 grandchildren.
Wow.
So that keeps us busy. I was really pleased to get an email from Howie Moshkovitz not too long ago and hear about his doings and now seeing him. And basically, that's what we do. We lived in Potomac for many years, moved out to Frederick when I retired, and then moved back to Rockville, where we're closer to our sons and closer to the city. And we moved into a condo so we can get around. And it's in the heart of the little city with the park right across from our windows with a Christmas tree and the ice skating rink in the winter and all sorts of restaurants, most of which are now opened because of the COVID, but we're managing. We've been, as I said, we've traveled all over. We've been to Asia, Korea. Our son married a Korean, our 2 sons were adopted from Korea, and one married a Korean girl. So we were over there for the wedding. We've been to China several times, Taiwan and Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and into Africa and Morocco. And then I think we've hit every place in Europe because I still have very close contact with my Italian relatives in Italy and a very close girlfriend who I've known since I was in college who lives in Denmark. So we still keep in touch.
Linda?
Yeah.
I'm in Rockville, well, in Silver Spring. I used to be in Rockville and I bumped into Nancy Rosenthal early on, but now I'm also in a senior community called Leisure World, Linda. We have 9,000 people in our community.
Okay, we're just in a condo right in the city center of Rockville.
Well, Larry Meadoff is down there too, right?
Who is in DC? Who else is in DC?
Richard Levy.
I live right in DC.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in Frederick.
Bruce is in Frederick. Yep.
I'm in DC.
And Larry Meadoff is, Bruce, you know where he is. He's near Baltimore anyway.
Right, he's in Baltimore.
Columbia, wasn't it? Columbia?
Oh yeah, right. He's in Columbia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we get up to Baltimore. It's one of our favorite eating cities.
Yeah. And we only have one member who's not able to join us unless we really stretch ourselves, and that's Eddie Carpenter, now known as George, once he left Trenton. And he's in Cebu, which is over there in with Thailand.
Philippines.
Huh?
Cebu is Philippines. Isn't it?
Philippines. Sorry, yeah. He was in he was in Hawaii for most years, and then he's now over in Cebu. He says the cost of rent there is cheaper, but he's joined us when we do a morning, sort of early morning one for here, because he's 13 hours ahead of us. So,
Does anybody know where Richie Robinson is, or John Strucker, or Steve Jackson?
I know where John Strucker is.
Where?
John and I talk on the phone every couple of months.
Well, you can get him to join the group.
Give John Strucker my regards, because we saw each other when we were in college. He came to Georgetown for some reason, and we went out for coffee. But give him my regards.
Steve,
Yes?
excuse me. I just want to butt in a second. I have Jan on speaker. He didn't get your email. I
I'll
don't know.
send
whether
it one more time. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I said it twice. Okay.
Where is John
At least a
Strucker?
few years ago, Richie Robinson was in Boston. He was an oncologist at Dana-Farber,
Uh-huh.
but that was 18, 20 years ago.
Let's see. I'm getting Jan's thing here. So.
How about Marilyn Bloomberg? Anybody? heard?
Nobody's heard from her.
How about Bruce Jackson?
Nope.
Has anybody heard from
God,
Bruce Jackson?
just to hear these names, it's such a, puts you
You
back
know,
in the past. Yeah.
Bruce was the sort of the ringer on all of our all athletic teams. Remember Howie on the quote, the junior 3 football team?
Yes.
And
He was good.
he was really, he was good at that. He was good at basketball. He was good at baseball, all of them. And then he left. I think, where did he went to New England or something, didn't he? I don't remember.
He went to Harvard.
We went to Harvard, but I think the family moved to New England.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
What about John Strucker, Mark?
John, John's had a pretty interesting career. He worked in a factory in Chicago, and he was an organizer. Very leftist orientation, and then he went back to Harvard, and I think got a PhD in education, and has worked in adult literacy for a number of years.
Well, if you have his email address.
I do. I'll ask him if he's okay.
Go ahead.
You froze, Howie.
Yeah.
We froze.
Okay.
I had an unfortunate run-in, for those of you who remember Jim Granger.
Sure.
Yeah, what happened to him?
It's not bad as in dying, but this has to be 25 years ago or so. I was sitting as the judge in the landlord-tenant court, and Jim ended up in front of me for not paying his rent. And I called him to the bench with the landlord's attorney out of the presence of, I put on the voice husher so nobody else could hear. And I just said, "Are you the Jim Granger from Trenton High, class of 62? And he said he was. Well, he didn't remember me. Maybe that's why I evicted him. But it was very sad. I mean, to have to order the eviction of someone you know,
Right.
because he didn't pay
Was
his
at our
rent,
last
and he
Trenton
had-
High School reunion.
He had no legal defenses, and so I had to order his eviction. And that was the only time I've ever seen him since high school.
Basketball player, wasn't he?
Yeah. For all the newbies, we do
I
have to say,
think
who was
so.
it that was just on? Was it? It said they hadn't seen Howie in a while. Just tell me.
I was going to say Jim Granger was at the 25th reunion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't go to
the
the other
second one too, because I remember him singing the Junior 3 song, and we sang it at the second reunion. And
After-
Trenton High song.
After the reunion that evening, a group of us went to a diner.
Until about 3 or 4
Oh,
o'clock.
yeah. Princeton
I was
Diner.
with Linda, and Jim was there, and Hetty Strauss was there. It was a wonderful time. There must have been 10 or 12 of us.
Is this the
And
one
we
that
just
Steve
sat-
Nickus and his wife were there? Was Nickus with us? Steve Nickus with us that night?
No,
That's a
no.
different group. We went to the Princeton diner after that one, I remember.
But I remember at the time, we live in Potomac, Maryland, and we moved right after high school because my father got transferred to Boston. So I kind of lost touch with everybody except Linda Rusnello, who happened to be at Georgetown while I was at GW. And Jim lived in Columbia. And at that meeting, at that get together, there was no indication that he was having a problem. That was 25 years ago. So, or maybe 26.
But he and Hetty told a very funny story at that time when they were in high school. And Hetty's parents had gone out and Jim had come over. And next thing you know, her parents are coming home. And he's not supposed to be there.
Yep. Bye, Howie.
See you
later.
We'll do this again in January. Yep.
So wait 1 second, Howie, before you leave.
He left.
I was going to tell him
Yeah.
that my image of Howie was always his,
Howie left.
his two front teeth that were false.
Right.
And I can remember him sticking his tongue out with the two teeth on it. So somebody remind me next time, because I've been dying to tell him. I don't know if he remembers that he used to do that, but it was such a cut off.
That clearly too.
But I assume
I
everybody
didn't
else
think that-
remembers, because I give a pitch every time that you have to have seen the Roger Ebert documentary, Life Itself, because Howie's all over it. It's the first time I remember I'm sitting there and say, this guy looks familiar. Name looks familiar. And I read the credits at the end, and yeah, that's Howie, because that's what he does. He does film criticism. He still teaches film out there. So, but I assumed everybody knew that. Stephen Lenoble is joining us. Right, a latecomer. He's found us a bunch of people. So there he goes.
What about
Welcome,
Phyllis
Steve.
Cantor? Linda, did you keep in touch with her? Weren't you close?
She's been on. She's been on the.
Oh, has she?
Yes, early on. Yeah.
I just have regards. I'm going to jump in quickly. I just
Yeah.
have regards from Jan because he can't get in,
Can't get
Steve,
in?
at all.
Okay.
Jan's been special hello to Howie Moskovitz and Bruce Berger. So he wanted me to say hello to you. I'm kind of the middle person here. Here, maybe you can talk.
There he is. Yeah, we can have Jan on the phone.
I have him on his phone. Say something, Jan. Maybe they can hear you.
Something.
Yeah. Jan, I was really.
It looks like it's about to kick in here. It says test computer.
Oh, great. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
he's still
Yes, we're
trying.
letting you in.
Okay. All right. Well, you keep trying. We'll keep you. All right.
Whatever happened to Alan
There he
Silver?
comes. Now he's in. There we go. Hang up the
There
phone,
you
guy.
are.
Okay.
You're in.
I am hanging up.
Yep. Okay. I was curious to know what Jan was going to wear today, because last time he came as Santa Claus. So I figured like the New Year baby. Kenny, did you want to say something? You're just waving.
Unmute, Ken.
No. Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah.
Steve?
I was just saying hello to Steve. I saw he just came on.
How you doing?
Steve. Oh,
Pretty
Renova,
good. How are
yeah.
you?
Nancy, Albert, you had a question?
Yeah, I haven't heard from Tom Lombardo, what he's been doing. Even though he may have been on another one, maybe I wasn't there.
Yeah, he may not have.
Maybe we could get an update from Tom?
Good. Tom, you're
Tom,
on.
you're on.
Well, went to Penn not long after college, went into the Army, spent 4 years in the Army, 1 year in Vietnam, got out, was kicking around doing some different things, worked with my brother in the art business for a while. And then I started getting into, I was getting restless and I went into the Air Force Reserve as a crew member, flew out of McGuire, then transferred to Travis Air Force Base in California, flying in C-5 Galaxies. And then after 5 years in the Air Force Reserve, I got out of that and started getting involved in the computer industry, pretty much all self-taught, became a network engineer and was doing contracting mostly on government contracts. Worked 7 years in Washington, D.C., mostly at FAA headquarters as a contractor, computer contractor networking. And then somewhere along the line, I had a son, and of course, born out of wedlock, and I've been involved with him, of course, ever since. And he's right now in Asheville, visiting with some friends. And now I'm retired. I was living, before I retired, I was working at the Reagan Library doing all their tech support. And then I retired and wound up here out in the Phoenix area. I'm in Peoria, which is in the West Valley, right next to Sun City. So that's a quick recap.
Tom, do you remember freshman year? Do you remember freshman year? You were playing on the Penn football team that came up to Ithaca to play Cornell. And after the game, you and I went down to, I forget what the local pub was, but we both got blitzed. I don't know whether you remember that.
No, it's a very, very vague memory.
Yeah. Well, everything was vague after that evening, let me tell you.
Yes, I suspect that that's the reason for it.
Hey, Marty?
Yeah.
Barb and I have been to Antarctica twice.
Oh, terrific.
Best trips we ever took, Antarctica and South Georgia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was both, unfortunately, Roberta and I both get seasick. And so we were really reluctant. Well, we always wanted to go, but we were really reluctant to go because of that. We've been everywhere else, every other continent. I think we've been in like 49 different countries visiting. And of course, I did a lot of them when I was working. And, but we always wanted to go there. And we said, well, we had taken a cruise to do through the Norwegian fjords.
Oh.
And the ship, that turns out the exact same ship with the exact same captain, was making the voyage to Antarctica. And so we decided, what the hell, we'll give it a shot. We're, you know, the longer we wait, the less chances we're gonna do it. Anyway, we did it. And it was terrific. I mean, as I said before, if you haven't been, you should try to go, because, you know, it may not be there much longer. As an example, I can show, we have a picture here, the Roberta one. Roberta's a photographer besides everything else, and she won an award for this picture. It's a picture of the shadow of our ship on a 12-mile by 8-mile iceberg that had broken off of one of the shelves. And it's just one of a number of these icebergs that are forming because the ice is melting. So it's and interestingly, you know, the natives, which are they waddle a lot. These natives down there are really being impacted, and one whole species of penguins is potentially going to be eradicated because of the melting, because they live on these ice floes. So yeah, the scenery, it's just fabulous. Just
Which ship were you on?
I also went to Antarctica, and I would like to add, I'm also a photographer, and I went and I took more pictures of penguins than I could ever dream of. But if anybody wants to be brave enough to go over the Drake Passage, I recommend dosing up with scopolamine before you go over. And I, because of my medical background, ended up giving out Phenergan to everybody on the ship with the medical team, because I had the scopolamine and I wasn't throwing up like 90% of the people going through. It was that rough. But it is absolutely God's country. And it is just a world. I mean, people who have gone to Alaska and think that that would blow your mind. The peacefulness and the tranquility of Antarctica is like nothing in the world.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was just going to send a note, but it's easier to tell you. We have our 10-minute warning, so we're okay. 9.41. I set up another one, but I don't think we need a third one today.
So
I'm gonna have to
Rich,
leave now,
before you
but-
left.
Is this
I'm
a
gonna-
good day for people Sundays?
Goodbye.
Who's leaving?
Linda,
Linda.
Richard
okay.
Levy. Richard Levy just left.
Linda Russinelli.
Oh, okay. Yep. Now we have to have our names here. Everybody should have the most updated list of the photos. And I thank everybody for identifying. The latest question came through where Jill Campbell is. Somebody saw her in there, but it was in the wrong place. So keep looking. Jan, you're raising your hand. Let's hear.
Yes,
from you.
yes. I'm
You
still,
always have something great to say.
can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I'm still marveled at this technology. It blows me away. I'm very much into last century stuff. And I'm just thrilled to see everybody. And when Kenny Blaine, I'm looking at you, and the last time I saw you was in probably a Cub Scout meeting. My parents
Oh,
were
that's true. Hey, Jan, as I remember, your mother and my mother were very close.
very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, very close.
I particularly remember your father. I think his name was Reuben. I always liked that name.
Wait, give me a minute. Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah. and I remember that you had departed our little world very early.
Yeah, but then I came back to life, so.
Yes, I see that. Tommy, I swear, I thought you had a sports store,
Yeah.
That was my father's store, Capital Sporting Goods.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
Wow. And Bruce, we spoke briefly last time. I'm so tickled that everybody traveled so much and expanded their horizons. Barbara, I can't thank you enough for all of your communications over the years. It's just been wonderful. Steve, I thought, Lenoble, I thought you had a dry cleaning service.
That's close. My grandfather did.
Yes. Ah.
That was close.
Wow.
Not close enough.
Yeah, I'm looking, Linda, I'm tickled that I was your first kiss along with Naomi.
You were apparently many people's first. That's the crux of it, though.
He wasn't mine. He wasn't mine.
Memories,
Marty,
Jan.
glad to hear
Wonderful
that.
memories.
Marty, I can't get over, I'm so mazel tov on everything. I mean, our history is really funny because we worked together in the first job I ever had, at Hermitage Dell.
Oh, the deli.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And Crazy Frankie, who cut his finger off with a.
Well, he used to go around.
Robin, you leaving?
Robin.
See you next time.
Happy New
Okay.
Year.
Yep. Happy New Year, Robin. Yeah.
Before Robin,
For all of us.
Robin, he wants to say something before you go.
yeah, Robin, before you
Wanted to
leave,
say also happy
think-
New
I
Year
think we
and
should all
healthy,
thank
and that
Steve.
we will have a better 2021.
I agree. I think we should all thank Steve for organizing this.
Oh, yeah.
And
Thank
keeping
you.
it going.
Definitely.
Yep.
Come on, Steve.
Yeah, I'm
That was
just trying to
great.
do it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again every few weeks. We'll get new people.
You have to email
Find
me.
us more people. And if somebody knows that wasn't on the list, looking at the class reunion, people have left us, as in died, we cross them off. So hopefully that'll find everybody. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and I tell people about this, and they can't believe it.
No, it's really
Steve.
very strange.
Yeah.
Steve, thanks for connecting with my sister Susan too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been dealing with Susan for years.
Yeah.
And, but I didn't know the name because everybody
Right.
got married, So it's funny.
I don't know if Dennis Bird was at junior 3 or not.
Oh, yes. We haven't found him.
He passed away.
He passed away.
Oh, that's right. He did. No, he's on the list. He's
Yeah,
on
he
the
passed
Excel
away.
list, or the photo list. On the photo list, I identified all the people that we know that died. Betty Sharbaugh, I think, and somebody else. But there was one other question I was going to just mention. Oh yeah, what I'd like to even think about doing, somebody wants to take a project on, is to set up some kind of little website where we can share. But I know of at least 4 of you that are photographers. That's what Jan does for a lot of his time. I heard the other people doing it. Larry Medoff does lots of photos and so on like that. So maybe we could put together a little site where we can all share our photos. I know Jan has his up on the website, which.
Yes. If anybody would be so kind, take a look, give me feedback. That's the caviar of doing artwork.
What is your website?
Say my website, call my name, E. Jan Konitz. E is Edmund. You didn't probably.
We never knew that.
Edmund. Whenever my father called me Edmund, I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you something that I really feel comfortable sharing with you guys. In fact, it's sort of a catharsis thing.
We have 3.5 minutes. Just to let you know.
All right, I'll try and be quick.
Good.
I did have a predilection for getting into mischief, I admit. And one of the best things I've ever did in my life is I was a director of a youth program as an alternative to sending kids to jail, teaching them construction projects, how to build, basically. I turned out I got involved in construction and became a general contractor at one point and ended up being a handyman, Mr. Fix-It. Didn't have to deal. I found early that I didn't play well with people, and being a corporate executive was not for me. I had once been, as Barbara Zeltmacher knows, I was an account executive at Gray Advertising once upon a time. The old 3-piece suit, it really wasn't for me. And I hitchhiked my way to California and studied photography. End of story. I'm very happy making artwork these days. And like I said, go to my website. I'd be very curious what you think. It might surprise you all. And everybody have a very happy, thankful, and healthy New Year.
And a very safe New Year.
We should all be safe. And feel free, if you need the group emails, I try to blind copy so we don't get a whole bunch of stuff, but you have them, but I have it saved. So if you need to share your website or something, I'm trying not to bombard people with things, but if you need that, I've got it blocked so I can just send it to you, you can copy and share it up. We'll find us more people. Jan's got 2 that he's keeping a surprise for.
I sent them the Zoom. I honestly don't know whether they're alive. I haven't been in touch.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy Regal and John R.
Oh yeah, Johnny R. Yep. Yeah.
John became a doctor, and I think Jim was into banking.
Yeah, and I did get an email for, I think, Ricky Shane, and sent it to that address.
Ricky Shane, he's my cousin. I can get a hold of him.
Oh yeah, I thought somebody sent it to me. Sure, Ricky was in our class.
He's in Tucson, Arizona.
Another Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just keep looking at that graduation list, and keep looking at the pictures, because Naomi's been great, and Liz has been great. Robin was a big help too. So that's it. Well, we have 1 minute and 15 seconds, so I will send out the 2 videos so you can share with the others. As I said, I don't think we said anything here that needed to be excised or something like that. But it's great that I can put them up and you can look at them whenever you want. And it's only the link. I put them in a playlist, so you can go back.
How do we get in touch with each other?
Huh?
How can
I have the emails for, I sent you that. That's on the list.
Okay.
And I just send it out as a blind copy because I don't think it's appropriate. People don't like to look at something that's got all these email addresses. And then somebody reply all.
Very
So
good.
Anyway, we're down to under a minute. See you guys in 2021.
See you soon. Be safe. Be safe.
Stay safe.
Yep.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Marty, best to Roberta.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Same to George.
Yeah, thank you.